Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we want to wish everyone at home a very happy Easter and a happy Passover. And we are here at the gorgeous Il Tavolo Di Palmisano, located at 700 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And the person to my right knows I need no excuse to start waving my hands around like a crazy Italian, because she's making her return for the third week in a row. And we're so happy to have her back. And that is Jenna Piemonte of At The Hungry Traveler, our Places Insider. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Exactly. And we're bringing you back for some delicious food.
Yeah, I can't wait to. It smells amazing. I'm so excited.
Exactly. We wish we had smell-o-vision at home, but unfortunately we don't. Now, Jenna, before you dig in and embarrass yourself, we'll say, you've never been to Il Tavolo, correct?
No, I haven't been. It's on my list, so I'm happy to check it off. It's on my Hoboken list, but no, I haven't been here yet.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure after you try all these delicacies, you're probably going to come back more and more often.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to have to bring people to look at all this decor. It's beautiful in here.
It absolutely is stunning. It really, really is. And it's our first of a few months that we're going to be here. So, and we're going to be trying some new dishes every time we're here. But like I said, Jenna, let's dig in. We're going to start with this dish in the center here. What do we have?
Okay, we have the shrimp tavolo. It has sun-dried tomatoes, arugula. It's on top of risotto, shrimp, and a white wine garlic butter sauce.
Oh my goodness. And while you dig in there, and look, we even gave you some fancy Chinaware here today. Folks, if you remember, we were actually here, probably 2 to 3 years ago, interviewing Frank Palmisano, one of the owners here at Il Tavolo. And the food, I was actually trying the food with Frank, and it was absolutely phenomenal, and I couldn't wait till we brought the cameras back over here. So now the moment of truth, Jenna Piemonte trying her first dish.
It's amazing.
Amazing, she says.
I love the white wine sauce. It's really good. Let's try a shrimp too.
Exactly. Look how proper she is too. If that was me, I would have been all over, just grabbing a shrimp. They didn't even have tails.
Perfectly cooked shrimp. I really like it. I love that sauce.
Okay.
And the rice is really good too.
All right.
Very well cooked.
10 out of 10?
I would say so.
All righty. All right. Well, look, we got to continue to move on here. So the next dish I'm going to move over looks like a carbonara.
Yes, it is.
Is that correct? What do we have here?
Yes, we have a carbonara. There's peas, an egg on top, pancetta. It looks delicious. Should we do an egg pop?
I think you should do an egg pop.
We should do an egg pop.
Oh, there's the
yeah.
egg. Oh,
Look at that drizzle out.
That looks so
perfect.
Good. And of course, that's a linguine carbonara, right? And we couldn't forget the pasta that was in there.
Yes, of course.
Exactly. And folks, while you dig in, I know you're wondering at home, why doesn't Peter ever eat? Come on. I'm dressed to the nines today. Last time I blamed the tan. Today it's the suit. But after filming, I will dig in. And maybe our social media team will get Peter digging in. Uh-oh. Somebody make a mess in my peripheral vision to my right?
No, not yet.
Okay. What do you think?
That was really good. I won't lie, I'm not a big carbonara person, but this is really light. So I really like that about it.
Okay.
So I do like it. The egg is really fresh on top. It adds like a really nice level to the pasta dish. I really enjoy it.
All right. So you're not a big carbonara fan, but are you? Is this going to make you a fan now?
I could eat this. I could eat this whole plate for sure. Okay. I've definitely had carbonaras where I cannot eat the whole plate because it's like a little too much for me. I could probably eat the whole plate of this.
Look at that. Only at Il Tavolo Di Palmisano. I told Jenna, we were joking before the segment. I was like, don't worry, I'll just keep repeating the name. And hopefully at the end of the segment, you'll know how to say it, no?
Yeah, I feel like I got it.
All right, you want to try?
No, not really.
I absolutely love that. All right. Now, I was talking to Robert here, who's a fantastic manager, and we were going over some dishes for you to try here. And look at her keep digging into the
really
carbonara. For not a carbonara fan, I don't know, folks, she's outdoing herself today, let's just say.
I am.
Exactly.
It's really good.
Exactly. All right. So when I was talking to Robert, I was like, look, we got to get a dish that is just like a Goliath, I like to call it. And that is, of course, the dish closest to you. What do we have here? This looks phenomenal.
We have the jumbo veal chop Parmesan. I mean, if you can see it, it's huge. And it comes with a side of linguine.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. And in red sauce, too.
In red sauce, yes.
You're just mixing it all up on the pulse,
mozzarella
right?
all on top. Amazing.
Exactly. So now, are you a veal fan?
I am. I'll pretty much eat any protein.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
You have to have like a range, I feel like.
I absolutely love that. All right, I'll let you dig in. This is on their regular menu, folks, so you can definitely come down here anytime you want. 700 Clinton Street, right in the dead smack center heart of Hoboken. Why wouldn't you want to come down here and order it? Okay.
It's lightly breaded, which is amazing.
Okay.
The cheese is really good. There's not too much cheese, not too little cheese.
So it's the right amount of cheese.
It's the right amount of cheese. You never know what you're going to get with a Parmesan. Sometimes they're way too cheesy. This is a really good level of cheese. The sauce is really good. I'm going to try a bit of the pasta, so just try the sauce too.
Digging in. Making the crew hungry again here. You know,
that's per
we
usual.
did this the last time when we were over at Placas.
You need 2 bites. I don't care about the whole 1 bite rule. You need 2 bites.
Amen. She's going back to Dave Portnoy. I know we spoke about him the last time.
We spoke about him last time. I was like, yeah, let's do that again.
Exactly. This
is delicious. The pasta's is it made fresh?
I believe it is. Yes, it is. Of course it is.
It's really good.
Yeah.
You can like taste it. It's made fresh. I almost wanted to make a statement, but I was like, let me make sure.
But you wanted to make sure, right? Good thing Peter B was here really doing a research.
Yes.
You know, it's his research. You know what? We didn't rank the carbonara and the veal. So let's start with the carbonara first. What do you think?
9 out of 10.
Wow, 90%. I'll take it. And what about the veal?
9.5.
Ooh, she is just
10 out of 10 on the shrimp. I'm a huge shrimp girl, though. I feel like we learned that last time I was here.
We did learn that with the garlic shrimp.
Yes.
Exactly. You know. So, all right. So this is your first time here. As you mentioned, you can follow her on social media at The Hungry Traveler. She keeps growing, by the way. Congratulations. Since last week, I think it went up another couple of hundred people.
Yeah.
I mean, I give credit to her appearances on The Pulse with Peter B, but that's just me.
Definitely a little bit from that.
Okay.
Trust me, I pay attention when you post.
Oh, listen, and we appreciate you sharing it and all that good stuff. Will you be returning to Il Tavolo Di Palmisano?
Oh, 100%. My friends are going to love this place.
Okay.
Especially with the decor. My family would love it. This is really cute. I love everything about being here, and the food is really good. So.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you come back?
Yeah, why wouldn't you come back?
Exactly. Now, is Italian really your go-to, or? Because it's a Piemonte, right?
Yes. So I eat a lot of pizza.
Okay.
But even my mom will say we don't go out to eat like pasta a lot because we are Italian. It's kind of like, well, we make our own sauce, we make our own pasta. So you know, I'm kind of judgy. Yeah. But this is all very good. I could totally eat this. I love pasta, so
that's awesome. That's all. And I have to tell you, you know, my parents were born in Italy. I speak the language and all that good stuff. And of course, they own a business here in town as well. But you know, we're all about Il Tavolo today. This is one of their favorite Italian restaurants.
Really?
And my 89-year-old grandmother's still alive and makes Sunday dinner for us. So, I mean, so we know all about the sauces and things like that. Just the staff is really, really wonderful. As soon as you walked in, they treated you like a superstar.
Oh my God, yes, of course.
Yeah, and she's
so
just
welcoming.
I'm an Instagram foodie, and that's about it. You know what I mean? I mean, really, and I hate to take this from that chain restaurant, but when you are here, you really are family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this food is 100 times better than that chain restaurant.
Yes.
So,
100% better.
Exactly. Well, Jenna Piemonte of At the Hungry Traveler, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. Happy Easter to
Happy
you and the
Easter
family.
too.
Absolutely. Hope to see you on in a future segment.
Yeah, of course.
All right. We might have to let you get on camera with maybe some of our other foodies too.
Yeah, I would love that. That'd be so fun.
Our Places Insider. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. All right, folks. When we come back, a very special guest from Washington, D.C. Oh, yeah. You're not going to want to miss it. We will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com. Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. Still here at Il Tavolo Di Palmisano, located at 700 Clinton Street. And we have a very, very special guest tonight, always looking more sharp than me, even though I took out my used car salesman jacket. And that is District 8 Congressman Rob Menendez. Good to see you back on the show.
Good to be back on with you, and the jacket looks fantastic.
All right, I love that. You know what looks fantastic is that lapel pin. Congratulations.
I appreciate
you
it.
You were on the show when you were running for Congress,
right.
And you worked very, very hard. And, as a person who basically grew up with you in this town, I'm very, very happy to see that you're going to be doing wonderful things down in Washington.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And let's talk about how long it actually took you to get sworn in. Because the Republicans on the other side of the aisle couldn't get their acts together. Speaker of the House was voted on 15 times?
15, yeah.
So you were sitting in the chamber every single time they were voting, obviously,
That's
correct?
Right. That's right.
But you couldn't vote.
No, we could.
Oh,
we
you could. Sorry, I'm confused.
So
Go ahead.
the order, the sequencing is that you have to elect a speaker first. So that's the first task of a new Congress, is to elect the speaker. Speaker sworn in by the most senior member of the entire House, and then the speaker swears in all the members. So the interesting thing is that until the new Congress is sworn in, there are actually no rules. There's no rules. So the floor rules are adopted once a new Congress is sworn in. So for those 15 votes, it was potentially chaos, but we all behaved ourselves.
So it could have been like Parliament in England, where people are throwing like baby powder and things like that.
There was you're not supposed to bring beverages onto the floor, right? But technically, there's no rule. So if you want to bring a water or something, you could bring water onto the floor. So I didn't really know that. So I just behaved as best as I could, and I voted for Hakeem Jeffries 15 times.
Yeah, well, listen, and I wish he would have won, but unfortunately, the numbers weren't there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was no adult beverages that were on the floor, because some of the way the Republicans acted, it certainly seemed like they were drunk.
Yeah. Well, they went on social media and said that we were drinking on our side, which is patently false, but we got through it. We made it. My family unfortunately couldn't be there. They went home after the first day or two, but happy to be sworn in, happy to be an official member of Congress.
Yeah, and now that you're getting to work here, it's been probably your first quarter in Congress. Yeah. I mean, there's probably not a lot that's happening, but you're certainly on certain committees that affects the residents of the New Jersey 8th District. I was wondering if you want to tell the audience what those committees are and some of the progress or that's been going on.
Yeah, sure. So my prime committee is Transportation and Infrastructure, which, given how productive the last Congress, 117th, was, a lot of work to do. Implementation of the bipartisan infrastructure law, so a lot of funding for some of our most significant infrastructure projects across the country, including the Gateway Project, which comes through the 8th District here in New Jersey. We also have the FAA reauthorization this year. Yeah. So talking about our commercial air, general aviation, and thinking about how we make it safer, a better experience for passengers. And the other committee I'm on is Homeland Security. Which was actually, we grew up in this area and we were here on 9/11. It was a select committee after 9/11 to look into the different threats that our country was facing at that time. Became a permanent committee called Homeland Security, and I serve on the cybersecurity subcommittee there.
Wow. I mean, those are all super, super important committees. I mean, national security committees and so on and so forth. Yeah.
And all things that have a direct nexus to the district. So, that's why I chose the committees. T&I is a bipartisan committee. We want to do work together, and we want to actually achieve things and not just create more noise. And the thing that I'm most proud of is we're going to be able to do things that the 8th District will directly feel and be impacted by in a positive way. So I'm fortunate to be on those committees and look forward to continuing to do a lot of substantive work on them.
Well, we appreciate all your hard work. We do have to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. Why would you go anywhere? Look at all this beautiful floral that I set up for you just before you showed up there, Congressman. I hope you know that.
Very much appreciated.
I appreciate that. All right, folks. When we come back, more with Representative Rob Menendez of New Jersey's 8th District. We will be right back.
Welcome to Hudson River Care and Counseling. Hello, I'm Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, the CEO and founder of Hudson River Care and Counseling with over 30 years of clinical social work experience in therapy. We are a progressive counseling and coaching practice with a diverse team that brings a holistic approach to clients. We offer support both in person and through digital platforms such as telehealth. Consider us a safe haven that you can trust with care for your mental health needs. Visit our website to set up a consultation today.
Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. Still here with our District 8 Representative, Congressman Rob Menendez. Rob, did you miss me during the commercial break?
Terribly.
Oh, I love that. All right, now a congressman said it too, so the smoke up my touch is really going to get to my head. But anyway, you know, we like to do a lot of joking around, as you can see on the show, but there's been no joking matter in this country when it comes to gun violence. Just last week with the Nashville shooting, unfortunately, that was the 130th, 131st gun-related incident in this country, mass shooting in this country. I couldn't think of the word. My apologies on that. That is staggering because it was only the beginning of April. And, you know, for a fellow congressman in Andy Ogles on the Republican side, who you share a chamber with, to take a picture, a Christmas picture with his kids holding semi-automatic weapons, to me is sickening. And I'm sure it's sickening for you to even have to cross paths with him in the hallway. I guess, what can you say to the audience at home to try to make them feel comfortable in sending their kids off to school every day?
Yeah, listen, it's a challenge. And just the one thing I would say is a reminder that in the last Congress, there was some bipartisan action taken. Obviously not everything the Democrats wanted to do. Still a lot more to be done, but at least it was something. And I just think that people know that we can't continue to accept this as our normal. You know, and listen, and it's some of the toughest times I've had in the public role is when parents come to me distraught because they're sending their kids to school for active shooter training. You know, and it's a stain on our country, and we have to be serious about it. You know, we have to understand that there are people who feel very differently about guns than we may feel here in New Jersey, but there's certain common things that we should be able to agree on, right? We don't need assault rifles. I mean, from the most ardent gun owners, some of whom I've had conversations with, they know they don't need automatic rifles, and they'd be willing to give them up. We just need to have a common sense approach to it, because we just can't accept this. And no one should have to send their kids to school concerned, fearful that their school could be next. And it's incumbent upon all of us to figure it out, because it's just unacceptable.
And, you know, one of the things that a lot of gun proponents stand behind is the Second Amendment. Yeah. But they seem to forget about the first part of the Second Amendment, where it says a well-regulated militia. I mean, which, by the way, is our National Guard. They just tend to hide behind, you know, the right to bear arms and so on and so forth. You know, former President Clinton enacted one of the most strictest gun laws for 10 years, and gun violence in this country decreased greatly. Nobody got their guns taken away by that. Yeah. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's nonsensical. And I mean, and what you need is, a lot of the gun proponents point to states like New Jersey, which have really strong gun laws, and they say, well, there's still violent crime there, there's still gun violence there, but because guns are bought in less restrictive states, right? They come up the iron pipeline from the south into New Jersey, or across from Pennsylvania to New Jersey. So you need a national framework, and that's what the federal government should be doing, is engaging in a federal framework that ensures that guns don't cross state lines illegally or legally, and that we have the ability to better control the situation and take certain guns out of our communities, the ones that are used in war, right? That we send our trained, right, Army folks into combat situations to use. They're not meant for stateside. They're not meant for our communities. People don't need them. There's also background checks that we should be able to agree to. There's common sense things. We just have to turn the rhetoric down, right? Yeah, and we have to be willing to understand that no one's going to get what they want, but we can just do so much better. And there's lives which are at stake. And if we can prevent the death of any number of lives, 1, 10, 100, we need to engage in that conversation. And I am hopeful, and I will remain hopeful, that friends across the aisle want to engage, because whether it's 1 life, 10, 100, 1,000, we need to do everything we can to make sure that those lives stay.
And we appreciate all your hard work. We know you're doing, you know, yeoman's work down in Washington with the minority. The Democrats are in the minority right now, with the other side just not wanting to talk about it at all. We're actually a little bit over time, but I have to bring this up because it is international news. And of course, that's former President Trump's indictments. Yeah. I mean, look, as a Democrat like you know, and as a partisan, I absolutely love to see it, but as an American, I don't. Yeah. How does it look to foreign leaders and anybody watching across the world that a former president's being walked into a courtroom in New York City to be charged with a crime? I mean,
well, listen, it says we're a nation of laws, right? And,
very true.
And, you know, and that's important. And, you know, listen, it doesn't make me happy in any way, right? Because I wish we had a former president who didn't put himself in those situations. And there's nothing to be happy about. I hope the Democrats don't feel happy because it's just not good for our country. We need to get to a much better place. And but listen, no one's above the law, and that matters. That needs to matter in this country. And so the process will play out, and hopefully it's an environment where they can have the pursuit of that legal outcome or process. And but the work continues, right? The work that we need to do for working and middle class families continues, and that's what we need to continue to focus on while the case plays out. That's what I'm focused on. People really need solutions in their lives, and we can't lose sight of that despite all of the chaos and noise around the former president. I just remain committed to the work that we need to do here in the 8th
and the work you're
District.
doing with, of course, President Biden, who has done just a phenomenal job in his first 2.5 years in office. Thank you for all your hard work,
please.
Rob. It's so great seeing you, Congressman.
Thanks so much for having me
Congratulations again. We hope to see you on the future shows.
I'd love to be back.
All right. Appreciate it
Take
again.
care.
All right, folks. We will be right back. Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano, still in the host chair and still here at the beautiful Il Tavolo Di Palmisano, located at 700 Clinton Street. And we want to thank Congressman Rob Menendez last segment for joining us all the way from Washington, D.C. And now we're going to get back to hyper local because making her Pulse premiere, and we're super excited about this one because we've talked about her plenty of times on the show, and that is our wonderful council president here in the city of Hoboken, Emily Jabbour. Emily, so great having you.
Thank you so much for having me. I heard you were in my neighborhood, so I just had to come by.
Exactly. And I know we spoke earlier today. This is one of your favorite restaurants in town.
It is. It is a go-to for my family. Right down the block, very kid-friendly. We love coming here.
Absolutely. We absolutely love hearing that. And not only because it's convenient, because the food is so good, correct?
That's right. Delicious.
Exactly. So, Emily, there is always something going on in Hoboken, I feel
That's
like.
right.
And
Yes.
as a city council president, I mean, my goodness, your plate must be completely full. So, you know, I give you all the credit in the world for doing yeoman's work there. Let's discuss an issue that's come up in the recent past, which is the homelessness problem over at Panera. Panera took away their inside seating and because they were saying they have a homeless issue. But some of this homeless population do have mental health issues. And you actually moderated a social work panel. So I was just wondering if you wanted to tell the audience about that panel.
Sure. Well, March is Social Work Month. And so in recognition of Social Work Month, the Hoboken Public Library put together a panelist of social workers and social work adjacent professionals to talk about a lot of the issues facing our community, one of which certainly including what's happening with the homeless population in our city. Unfortunately, we're not the only city that's dealing with this right now, partly coming off of COVID. There's just been a change in those demographics. And Hoboken's success is a double-edged sword. It makes us a very generous community. We're a very welcoming community. And that brings with it sometimes a complicated set of issues that, you know, have to do with our success in a lot of ways. You know, people come to Hoboken because it's friendly. Our police department are very into community policing. We are not overly harsh. And so when you have a situation come across the headlines, lines like what happened with Panera, it's complicated. And so I'm really proud that the city of Hoboken has decided to invest in social work professionals as part of how our municipal government is working. And so what we have done as a city is actually to reach out to the management at Panera to work with them about different solutions that we could come to the table to discuss. We have not met with them yet. They have not taken us up on that offer, but I'm very hopeful that they will.
All right. Well, look, I like when our city officials see an issue and they certainly try to tackle it head on. Absolutely. Let's talk about another issue that's a little more prevalent these days. And I live in the community right next door to the Union Dry Dock, the former Union Dry Dock. Many people thought it was going to become a park. Right. And now the city came into agreement with New York Waterway on a up to 5-year lease for them to maintenance their ferry ships, basically what they were going to do before the city eminent domained.
Correct.
So there are people that are nervous that live in my community that the park will never come to fruition. What do you have to say to calm down their nerves?
So, it's been a very long journey, and I'm really impressed that Mayor Bala has been able to take this across the finish line to get to a point of having this lease negotiated with New York Waterway to negotiate their exit. There are terms I know that people have concerns about, rightfully so. I understand the neighbors' concerns. We've had conversations about how to address theirs, as well as some of the folks who use the cove on a regular basis for activities like kayaking. We're trying to work together to make that, ways that we can handle those concerns so that we can move forward, because ultimately within that 5-year window, that will become permanent property for the city. So the community meeting process started this week. It's really exciting that we're getting to talk about our vision for the park, to hear from community members about what they're interested in seeing there. It's going to be a great process.
So you're confident that that will be the Maritime Park?
Absolutely.
It could be 5 years down the road or hopefully less?
Yes. This was an agreement that we needed in order to force New York Waterway to take the next steps to relocate elsewhere.
All right. Well, we do have to go to a quick commercial break. Somebody has to pay the bills around here. More with Council President Emily Jabbour right after this break, folks. You're not going to want to miss it. We will be right back. Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. And we're still here with Council President Emily Jabbour. Emily, did you miss me during the commercial?
Of course.
I'm always going to, give myself a pat on the back. Let me tell you that much. So, Emily, a non-joking matter that's been happening these last few weeks is, unfortunately, last week with the Nashville shooting. That was the 130th mass shooting just in 2023 alone at the end of March. As you know, gun violence is now the number one cause for child mortality in this country.
That's right.
It is just an epidemic, I believe. At a local level, because we spoke about this with the congressman in the last segments, you belong, and I believe that you're the president, if I'm not mistaken, or correct me if I'm wrong, of Moms. Can you just explain to the audience what Moms is?
So Moms Demand Action is a grassroots organization that was founded in the aftermath of the tragedy at Sandy Hook. It was started by a mom on Facebook who wanted to do more in the absence of legislators taking action. So it started as a Facebook group, and it has now grown to over 10 million volunteers across the country. Unfortunately, that is, I would say, on par with how gun violence continues to be an issue facing this country. And as you mentioned, it is now the number one cause of death for kids and youth in this country. And it seems like there's just headline after headline after headline. And, when is enough enough? And for me, several years ago, I founded the Hudson County chapter of Moms Demand Action in the wake of the Pulse nightclub shooting. That was the thing, combined with my pre-K student at the time. I happened to be visiting my daughter's pre-K class when there was an active shooter drill in the building. And that was all that I needed to witness to know that I needed to do more.
Here's something I don't understand. And the audience obviously knows where we both stand on a political aisle. But to me, it's not a political issue. It's an issue of being right and wrong. And there's one side of the political aisle that likes to talk about how they're pro-life. I mean, they're so pro-life that they don't want to come out with new gun safety laws to protect what is now the highest rate of child mortality in this country.
That's right.
I mean, am I wrong about this, please?
No, you're not. And this is about a public health crisis, frankly. This shouldn't be about politics. And there are plenty of gun owners who are involved with Moms Demand Action because they believe in responsible gun ownership too. That protects our police officers, it protects other individuals, and you should have an expectation of safety for all of the places that you go, whether it's a school or a grocery store or a church. And unfortunately, that's just not the case anymore. There are 120 deaths a day, and most often those are in Black and brown communities that are dealing with this as a daily issue, not just shooters in schools, which are unfortunately the ones that make the headlines most of the time. But this is an issue that needs a full-blown public health response. And to all of those people who are hypocritically talking about pro-life, but meanwhile, it is harder to get into a phone than it is to operate a weapon, I just can't understand or justify their lack of action.
It's like they're in love with this piece of metal. It is just beyond fathomable to me. I mean, they're almost blinded by the Second Amendment, which they love to hide behind, but yet they don't even read the full Second Amendment, which says that you need to have a well-regulated militia. You know, they forget that part. They just talk about the right to bear arms.
That's right. That's right.
So what is being done at the local level to prevent any type of violence? I know New Jersey has some of the strictest gun laws in the country, which is just terrific.
That's
Kudos to Governor Murphy
at
state level. But what is being done at the hyper-local level?
Sure. I mean, Governor Murphy has led New Jersey to have some of the best laws in the country and the strongest. And I would look to our neighbors in places like Tennessee to follow our example. At the local level, what we can continue to do is promote the safety initiatives like the Be Smart campaign to ensure that there is safe storage of weapons. Our police department actually provides materials about the Be Smart initiative as part of their permitting process. And there's materials on their website about safe storage. There are basic rules that you can follow as a gun owner to ensure that there's never some sort of unplanned tragedy with an accidental shooting.
Yeah, well, Council President Emily Jabbour, unfortunately, we're out of time. We could probably spend another 10 minutes on this, but we hope to see you back on the show to talk about this.
Absolutely.
We really, really do.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for all your service, both with Moms Demand Action and, of course, at the City Council level.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks again. All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.